Hello. Howdy. It seems like forever since I have seen you, even online. You've had this long break. We had Easter weekend. Hopefully, your family had some time to reflect and focus on the things that are important for your family and for God. And you're able to recenter yourselves and be ready for a whole nother week of learning. I can see the bags under my eyes really deep this morning, but it's okay. I have no makeup on as usual. So I'm just gonna go. We're done with time, which was the first week. Then we're done with area, perimeter, and volume, which was last week. And now we're gonna be moving into a 3 week or maybe 2.5, depending on how long it takes us, um, thing on fractions. And then we're going to end the year with doing like a big review of like everything. So we're going to hit fractions for a long time. So don't worry. We are still going to have quizzes on the Fridays so that I can make sure that you're learning everything as we go along. We do have a full week this week, Monday to Friday, and I've printed everything out. That you should have printed everything out or had copies of it or something that I sent in the email on Thursday. And so, like I said, I go off my lesson plan. My lesson plan is the usual one that lays everything out beautifully for you. So let's go look at that real quick since this is day one, and we'll just go into that. Hold on. Boom, 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 boom. I had to share my screen. And let's see here. Of course, it doesn't want to do it. So let me pause. Oh, yay, it worked. Yay. Okay, now I have to pause. This is the lesson plan for this week. As you can notice, it's a full week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So if I look at Monday, I can see that in ELA, I'm in a new story, which means I have, it's not in Epic Books again. We were just lucky with Albertosaurus Mystery that it was in Epic Books. Unfortunately, they don't have the rest of these stories in Epic Books. It is going to be in your purple book. Do print out the packet, and you're doing the packet page 1. I did put on here, I am going to be checking to make sure that you do a spelling city activity every day. It is part of your homework now. So I will be checking in ELA to make sure that you're doing a spelling city activity every day. We need to get those spelling grades. Everybody needs to be 100 because they're easy words and there's no excuse not to study during the week. So now we're going to be increasing that rigor and putting up that 4th grade expectation so that you know what you're expected to learn and you're pushing yourself and doing what you need to do to succeed. And I'm here to help. In math, which is today, for this video, you're going to be starting off with your black folder. I'd like you to watch the YouTube video. It gives you a great introduction on fractions, just a general easy one. It reminds you, remember we did go over these a little bit before Terra Nova, the numerator, the denominator, what a fraction is and what a fraction looks like in different ways. And then we are going to be in the green book on 386 and 387. Chapter 12, lesson 1. And then also in religion this week, we are going to have 4 days of strong religion. We're in chapter 10. And you do have a religion packet. So it's not like last week where it was easy because of Easter. We are back to the religion packet, which means that you'll answer all of the keywords. And then every day you'll have 2 points from the lesson that you need to write down. And then your reflection question, depending on what the reflection question is. And it is expected that it is in cursive. It is expected that it is neat. So if you cannot write cursive on a straight line, I'm expecting you to draw a line with a ruler. Okay? I have a high expectation for these worksheets and these packets, especially if I'm not going to get them in until Friday, like the ELA packet and the religion packet. I don't need to spend my whole entire weekend going through each page and reading crooked, swirly handwriting. I can tell you in 4th grade, guys, Miss Rangel, that's not going to cut it. So if you are one that cannot still write cursive straight, then you need to draw your lines. I remember when I was learning to write cursive, I had to draw my lines on paper. If it's not a lined piece of paper, if you want, you could take the reflection question and just staple lined piece of paper in there. is up to you. Whatever you need to make your handwriting look acceptable. Okay. All right. Hold you to that. You also have science on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then on social studies, we're moving into a new section on government as we prepare for this next election in November. So it will be cool for us to learn about government and voting and what there are in levels of government around us. So you'll be doing 2 pages of those on Tuesday and 2 pages of those on Thursday. All right? Sound like a plan? Let me go back here. I'm going to stop my share. And we're going to go back into math. So let's all turn to page 386. You'll see this big colorful graph, and you know what? How much I don't like this book. It's silly because if you notice that there's something missing in this big colorful graph, I did, and I have no idea why it is. They have the ones, they have the halves, they have the thirds in orange, they have the fourths in yellow, they have the fifths in green, they have the sixths in like cayenne blue, and then what happened? If you're looking at page 386, you can see in the middle for the poor little sevenths, did they make the sevenths fraction in theirs for them? No, and I have no idea why. Unless the question was which fraction is missing, but it's not. They're trying to show you the table because they're showing you a fraction strip table. For you, if you're a visual learner with fractions, this might help you to see that we're just dealing with one whole, and we take that one whole and we're breaking it into parts. It's kind of like division. If you like division, I do. So we're going to be breaking a whole into parts. And they just forgot to write in those little sevenths. I was just noticing that this morning as I was preparing for the lesson. I don't know why. All right, so let's, you can look there. If you remember in our lesson when we were doing it before Terra Nova, that the top one is the numerator, and that means the number of equal parts or the number shaded. And the denominator is the bottom one, which tells me how many parts in the whole, or I say how many parts in all, okay? How many parts in the whole one, right? One piece, how many parts in that whole piece? And then today what they're doing is they're just having you practice saying fractions or being able to write a fraction. So I'm going to pull up my worksheet that I have for you today, and we're going to practice looking and seeing fractions and be able to write them and to say them correctly. So I'm going to pause. And I'm back. Okay, so I have this great worksheet today, and I wanted to give you this because I kind of wanted to give you a challenge because today's lesson is really easy. Once you watch the YouTube video that gives you that brief introduction on fractions, which is really good, I really need you to watch it. Today's questions are easy, and that is why I'm changing it to, oh, no, you're still doing odds. But they're going to be really, really fast answers. So don't worry. This here looks scary, but it's not. So I want to talk you through it because you will sometimes see fractions in word problems too as we get ready, like number 17, 19, 21. So I want us to prep with those because if I look at number 1, 3, 5, 7, all I'm doing for those is I'm saying 3/4 and then I'm just writing 3/4. And then I'm saying 1/8 and I'm writing 1/8. It's very, very simple. A lot of you, I would say most of you remember this from our lessons that we did right before Terra Nova. So I'm going to move more into the questions and problem solving, which are 17, 19, 21, okay? And you could kind of, we'll move into 22, or 23, 25 in a second, but let's look at these questions here, and I want to work through these, and we'll talk about some things about fractions. So I'm going to make these three a little bigger, and we'll just focus on these three today. Annotate. Okay. Number 1, the circle below is cut into 4 equal slices. What fraction of the circle is shaded? So I'm going to, I know my first thing I'm going to do with my word problem is I have to draw my fraction line. Boom. And I know the top number is my numerator, and I know the bottom number is my denominator. The numerator tells me What? If you look at your page on page 386, use your notes. The number of equal parts. And then the bottom one tells me the number of equal parts in a whole or in a set. Okay, so the number of equal parts, that's kind of confusing. So N means the number, and I usually say the number shaded. Trying to write with that pen. And then D, the number in the whole. Those are how I like to say it. The numerator, the top number is the number shaded, and the denominator is the number in the whole. Okay, how many are in the whole piece? So if I was to change my color here, and let's look at this, because the question says, if I need to reread the question, it says, what fraction of the circle is shaded? Okay, so I know the number shaded is 1, 2, 3. I can write a 3 there. And then if I know the denominator, the bottom number, is how many are in the whole, how many pieces are in the whole? Let's change my color again. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 pieces in the whole. So the answer to this is, what fraction of the circle is shaded? I would say, you can say 3/4. If you don't remember how to say it, go back to your fraction chart here, the fraction table that's on page 386, and it will remind you how to say that denominator. So if you have a 5, it would have been fifths. If you have a 6, it would have been sixths. But we had a 4, so it's 3/4. And we would just write that, or we can just show that in our box. Okay? Now I'm going to clear that. And I'm going to look down here at number 2. Jack has 9 marbles. What fraction of his marbles are white? This is the tricky one now. So they don't want the number shaded in black. They want the number shaded with white. So you're pretending that they were all black, but 2 are shaded with white. So I still, again, I'm going to make my fraction line. The top is my numerator. The bottom is my denominator. The one tells me how many are shaded. The bottom number tells me how many in the whole, or I say how many in all. Okay? So this is one group of marbles here, right? And they're saying that there's 9 marbles in all. So this already gave me this answer. So let me change my color. I know that I have 9 marbles in all. If I go back to my fraction table on page 386, I know that 9 in the bottom, I say that by saying ninths. Ninths. I have ninths. Well, how many are white is the question. 2. 2 are white. There's 1. There's 2. So I say 2/9. 2/9. Okay? Clear? All right, let's try this one. Number 3, the square below, it's actually a rectangle, is cut into 4 equal parts. What fraction of the square is shaded? Whoa. I start with my fraction line. The top is my numerator. The bottom is my denominator. The top one tells me the number that is shaded. The bottom one tells me the number in all, or the number in the whole. Okay? I change my color. I go back to the question. I reread it. It says, what fraction of the square is shaded? I know I have 1 shaded. And I know I have how many in all? How many are in the whole thing? There are 4 pieces in the whole thing. So I know that if I go to my chart on page 386 and I go to the 4, I know I say fourths. Fourths. So 1/4. 1/4 is the answer to that question. All right, so now I'm going to go over 17. let's look at 17 real quick, and I'm going to stop sharing this, and I'm going to go to the whiteboard, and I'm going to read this word problem here for you guys, okay? It says there are 12 months in a year. What part of the year is July? Write this in a fraction. So I write my fraction chart right here, right? With my fraction line. I know the number, right? This is the number shaded, but this time it's the one that they want, right? The number shaded or the piece that they want. Then this is the denominator down here, and it is the number in the whole or the number in all, right? So now I'm going to change my color, and I'm going to go to how many pieces do they want? Well, how many I'm dealing with? Am I dealing with raspberries? Am I dealing with cupcakes? Am I dealing with a pie? Am I dealing with a basket of apples? No, I'm dealing with months. I'm dealing with months, right? Number 12 or number 17. Number 17. I'm dealing with months. So I want to answer the bottom one. How many months in a year? I can do that. I know that. How many months are in the whole year? There are 12 months in the whole year. And if I look at my chart on 386, I know that that says 12ths. And how many months do they want? They said, what part of the year is July? Did they say July, August, and September? Or did they say July? They only want to know about one of those pieces, one of those parts. So July is 1 out of 12 months, which means it's 1/12. You could write it 1/12. Boom. Okay. July is 1/12. So I gave you that answer here. Let's see how hard number 19 is. Does the figure on the right show fourths? Why or why not? Ooh, this is a big one. I'm going to explain this to you. Remember how we were talking about it before Terra Nova. The thing about fractions is just like in division. We have a whole and we're breaking it into all different kind of sizes of parts, or we're breaking it into equal parts. We're breaking it into equal parts. It's only a fraction if we have equal parts. That is very, very important. So if you see questions that are saying, is this divided into fourths? No. They could even say, is this divided into fifths? No, because they're not equal parts. And for it to be a fraction at all, it has to be in equal parts. So yes, it is broken up into 3 pieces, right? This piece here that I just drew, there's 1, there's 2, and there's 3, but are they thirds? Is this 3/3? No, it's not, because in order for it to be a fraction, it has to have equal parts, and it does not have equal parts, so it is not a fraction, okay? We have to have equal parts. So in the question, in 19, does the figure at the right show fourths? No, because this square that they drew here is broken up into very unequal parts. Very unequal parts. They are not the same size. In order for it to be fourths, the square would have to be broken up like this, equal, or the square would have to be broken up like that, or the square would have to be broken up like that. Okay, there are 3 ways to draw fourths, just so you know. That's another lesson in general. But there are 3 ways that you can draw fourths. All right, let's look at number 22, but I'm going to do number 20. I'm going to do number 22. You're going to do number 23. Draw a picture to show each fraction. Super, super easy. what I would just do is I would either choose to draw circles or I would choose to draw rectangles, whichever one you want to do. When you're drawing a fraction, it's really easy to choose rectangles, but you can sometimes do them with circles. Circles are a little bit trickier depending on what kind of fraction you're drawing. But for number 22, it's asking me to draw 1/4. So I'm going to look at the bottom number because the bottom number is the one that tells me how many pieces, it's my denominator, and it's going to tell me how many pieces are in the whole or how many in all. And the top number is my numerator, and it's going to tell me how many are shaded. So I'm going to change my color, and I know that I have to break these into 4 equal pieces. I like breaking it that way. And then a circle can be broken up the same way. Boom. So then I just have to shade one of them because that's what my numerator says, 1/4. Okay, easy. And you would have to do 1/2 or 1 out of 2 pieces, or when you get to number 25, you have to draw 3 shaded out of 8 equal pieces. How are you going to break something into 8 equal pieces? I can't wait to see. Watch the YouTube video or listen to this one again if you need help. I have a feeling you guys all loved fractions from before when we went into Terra Nova. So just like I love fractions, your parents might not like fractions because they get the hard stuff. When you get into 5th, 6th grade, fractions turn into not so fun. But I love beginning fractions for sure. So I encourage you to have a great day and follow your lesson plan. And you're turning in your math paper today and your science paper today. And I encourage you to find fractions around you. When we meet together on Tuesday, just reminder, tomorrow when we do our Zoom meeting at 10 o'clock, not today, tomorrow at 10, we are going to be dressing up for our Egypt project and bringing our Egypt artifacts, okay? So that's that. Alrighty, I love you lots, and I hope you have a fantastic Monday. And don't get too stressed, or call me if you are. Super easy today. Bye, guys.